Shradha, first startup is here.
Hi, Srinath.
Hi, Shradha. How are you?
Good to have you. Thank you so much for joining. You are an
Sure.
example of deep tech innovation happening in our country. And of course, you're also, I remember our conversation, you're also an example of resilience that don't give
Shradha,
up
first
and
startup
things
is here.
happen. So please tell us your story.
Hi, Shradha. How are you?
Good to have you. Thank you so much for joining. You are an example of deep tech innovation happening in our country. And of course, you're also, I remember our conversation, you're also an example of resilience that don't give up and things happen. What is this happening? Tell us your story.
What?
What is this happening? Thank you so much for joining. You are oh my God! We have to just go.
Is that on
What
some
is
loop?
this? Innovation happening in our country. And of course, I'll go. Hello?
Yeah, hi, Shradha. Let's see how this works now.
Yes, Srinath, you continue before I echo and create so much of noise. Yes.
No, from what I heard, thank you. Thank you for saying that I'm symbol of resilience. I think the team has done an amazing job, and all I do is to make sure I enable them. Again, the loop starts, I guess.
Again, this is starting. Srinath, you continue. Why is it this happening? Wait, this is so shocking. One second.
No, from what I heard, thank you. Thank you for saying that I'm symbol of resilience. I think the team has done
This
an
is
amazing
so
job.
funny. This
All I
is
do
so
is to make
funny.
sure I enable them.
Wait,
Shradha,
wait.
Shradha, I think you might have the live link open on one of the tabs.
Sorry?
You might have the live link, YouTube link running somewhere in your tab, in your browser. Yeah,
Oh.
could you, if you can
You,
close that? Yeah, YouTube. Well,
I've closed that YouTube.
I think now it should be sorted, Shradha.
My God, this is shocking. रुकावट के लिए खेद है to everyone. Sorry. And again, we'll restart, but all this happens and we are all startups. So it's okay. And Srinath, you will understand. So sorry
Of course.
about this. And all of us in this team, very proud of you. I hope this is not repeated. How? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's fine. I don't know if there's
No,
a
Srinath
connection
is not
issue,
there.
but by any chance is it on my side? I'm not sure. It was okay so far.
Srinath, I think there's some internet issues with Shradha's video. Give us a second, we're fixing it once.
हॉटस्पॉट करूं?
हॉटस्पॉट भी चलेगा?
4G तो आ रहा मेरा.
Srinatha, you're good to go.
Yes.
Hi, is it okay now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You continue. You continue, please, Srinath. I'll not speak now. Yes.
No, thank you for having me here. It's yeah, it was just reminding me of our launch last year. It's exactly 1 year since we did our launch, and I remember we had to start the countdown 3 times before we actually got the launch to happen. So similar feeling coming now.
Yes. So please tell all of us about Agnikul and one, I'm telling you again, very very proud. But hum sabko you tell the Agnikul story.
Oh, sure. And thanks for having me here. At Agnikul, we build rockets that take small satellites to space. Always been focused on building, 21st century rockets. That's what we're calling them today. But the idea started with me being in the US, thinking about how to go to space. I was in the finance sector, even though I was a space enthusiast at heart. And which is when I realized that, the space industry had sort of changed completely. Satellites used to be very far away, huge systems, very bulky, but they changed, right? They started flying closer to Earth, many more in number, much lighter. So the entirety of how satellites are have changed. But rockets just being systems to take satellites to space, they sort of still were stuck in the past. So I felt there was an opportunity and wanted to do something there. Realized India is the right place to do it because, with aerospace, you're always thinking about, dual use. You're always thinking about working with governments. And it made sense for me as an Indian citizen to do it from India. And of course, ISRO has done a lot of good things, right? I think particularly that year, 2016, 2017, is when I was trying to do the whole thing to start. India had done that, 104 satellites in a single launch. And also the Martian mission had happened at a very, inexpensive price. So it felt like a lot of good things are happening in India. So I should give it a shot here. Cold called a bunch of people in India who actually had access to facilities where I could test rocket systems. And then one professor out of ID Madras said, okay. And from there, the Agnikul's journey actually formally began. December 2017 is when we started. The good thing is, since then, the market has only grown. The demand has only grown. And more people see the need for small rockets. So in that sense, yeah, from a business standpoint as well, things are actually starting to work out. In the early days, it was a little harder to convince people that there is a business case, particularly in India, right? Because the startups funding ecosystem here and so on was completely in a different, different plane altogether. Now it's different. Now things are getting much, much better. But those early years, 2017 to 2019, were a little difficult. But anyway, we raised some money and here we are after a launch now. So let's see.
Congratulations. And again, saying that, for everyone listening, that this is not easy. And one can only imagine what it would have taken to stay through those years. And Srinath, I want you to talk about that because today we are celebrating and we are talking and appreciating. And, everywhere I hear about Agnikul, jab bhi example hota hai, to Agnikul is an example of deep tech. But how did you survive those years when it was tough and there were so many rejections?
So 2-3 things, right? One, I realized that there was a little bit of education required. People had to get aware of what the industry was about. So it just meant that I had to tell myself that it is going to take a little longer because you'll have to tell people about the sector, then about the company, and then about what is different about you. Second thing is, I think if we really felt that once it gets to a certain critical mass, everyone would understand. So it was only about, it's only a short-term pain. I know the doors would open if you continue knocking enough doors. So we just kept going at it. I think the first time it took at least 300, 350, or maybe even 400 pitches to actually get the first round of money in. But after that, things started to slowly open up, right? So it was just about going behind it. And I felt this is really what I wanted to do all my life, and I got a great opportunity with IIT, with Professor, with Moin, other co-founder. So had to give it my best, the best shots.
Yeah. And I also remember that you came from US, you left your job because you wanted to do this.
Right. Yeah. So I actually grew up in Chennai, but went on to do a bachelor's in electrical engineering in Chennai, then a master's in financial engineering in New York. Then worked in Wall Street for 7 years before realizing I just had to go back to my childhood passion, and which was aerospace. So quit that job, did an aerospace engineering program. Even before finishing that, moved to Los Angeles because SpaceX is there, and that's where I realized what is really happening in the market. And yeah, I think when you now turn back and when I look at, now India has policy to allow for private rocket companies to be there. In fact, we have been allowed to have our own launch pad, right? So it's been great to have all these opportunities. So now things are starting to actually make sense for all the decisions I made probably 10 years ago.
Srinath, uh, what would you like to tell everyone who is listening and who will be listening to this conversation? What would you like to tell all the entrepreneurs, startups, people who are starting up right now?
I think keep at it. I think that's the most important thing that helped me. Things may be, there are a lot of trends that happen each year. There is a sector that is different. Each year there is a sector that has buzz. Some sectors go up, some sectors go down. It doesn't really matter. I've seen the EV, the AI, and then crypto. All of these things are coming and going. But if you really stick to something and you're really putting your heart and soul into it, there is absolutely sure that you will solve a problem. And once you actually solve a problem, money and everything else that you really wanted from it and actually starting to add value will also start happening. So keep at it. It'll take time, but it will happen. That's really what I want to tell founders.
Wow. And last is, what can we expect from Agnikul in the coming year?
Very exciting year ahead. We will be doing a launch soon. As usual, whatever date I say, you should add a couple of months to it, I guess. But there will be a launch happening quite soon. We're going to attempt a lot of very interesting things that have never been done in India before. And so that would be hopefully inspiration for others. It would also put, I think, India on the global map in terms of rocket technology. And most importantly, it is getting really close to our goal, right? Our vision of making space transportation easy. So it's going to be a very flexible launch. It's going to be a launch tailored to a particular customer. So I think it'll be an interesting year for us that way.
Wow. Yeah, an interesting year for you, an interesting year for India's space tech innovator story. And thank you for being Bharat ke innovator. Again, as I said, very proud. Story aasan lagti hai and smiling founder, but it takes a lot of grit and a lot many years. And you've done that. And now you're doing this. And for all of us, as I said, Agnikul is an example and you've set the benchmark. Yes, all the very best. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Shradha. Thank you.
And
for having me.
sorry for all that commotion.
Sure. So no problem at all.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, see you. Thanks. Okay, so next startup we have is Meraqui Ventures. Yes.
Hi, Shraddha. Good afternoon and
Oh,
lovely to see you again.
yes. I'm just going to move a little bit because I don't know if my signal is working or not or whatever. So yes,
No problem.
yes, yes. Dr. Shalin, tell us your story.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I start, obviously it's tough to follow Srinath and Agnikul in that sequence, but it's really amazing. It's really amazing. I must thank government, Piyush Goyal ji, yourself, the entire your story team for putting this together. It's so amazing to see fellow entrepreneurs, such amazing stories of the work being done in India in tier 2, tier 3 locations. So, I'm privileged and honored to be part of this selection. Thank you.
Thank you. No, and we are very proud to have you as Bharat Ke Innovator because I know the work that you are doing. Now tell all of us your story.
Right. So I'm Dr. Shalin Maheshwari. I'm chairman and co-founder of Meraqui. Lalit Singh is my co-founder, and both of us started this journey about 5 years back in Jan 2019 with the purpose to connect the 50 crore young Indians sitting out of villages who are looking for job opportunities. Unfortunately, they don't have a digital footprint. So it's very difficult for them to find the right job opportunities in their vicinity. And typically these opportunities are in tier 1, tier 2. Also, when you look at from an employer perspective, you have such large organizations who are forced to have a large coordination team, because when you look at the life cycle of the workforce, it starts with sourcing, onboarding, doing operational activities, doing their compliance, doing their upskilling, taking care of their financial benefits, health benefits. This typically is done by multiple vendors. And we felt that we have to challenge the status quo. We have to create a tech-led platform which gives transparency and efficiency to the stakeholders, which is the client and the candidate. And if in doing so, if you've solved problems for the both of the players in the ecosystem, you've created a solution which is worthy to last as India goes from a 3 trillion to a $10 trillion economy. So with this thought process, we started this in Jan 2019. It's been 5 years. We are now in our 6th year, and God's been very kind. Our partners, our team has been immensely dedicated in this vision. So we've almost grown at a CAGR of 120%, profitable, bootstrapped, and we currently serve. Thank you. We currently have touched lives of more than 20 lakh aspirants, given jobs to almost 3 lakh aspirants. Currently serving.
Wow,
Thank
that's significant. That's very, very significant. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. We currently have presence across all states in India. We serve more than 30 industry verticals across 300 odd enterprise-grade clients, and currently scaling. We're also now looking to establish our footprints internationally.
Brilliant. And where are you based out of?
I am based out of Jamnagar, and I
Yes.
must thank RK University for incubating us and giving us this opportunity to speak with you again.
Yes, and that is why you are at Bharat ke Innovators, and a story that कहीं से भी शुरू कर. Of course, Jamnagar तो अंबानियों का शहर है, but from a startup and building a tech startup standpoint, tell us what have been some of the advantages and what would you say have been some of the challenges?
So it might come to you as a surprise that as by education, I'm an orthopedic surgeon and my partner is an engineer. So the problem statement is so large that for us being from outside the ecosystem, we are, I would say, outsiders, and we see things for the way they are. So that's probably helped us, do things differently and tackle the problems and the challenges very differently. And that's probably been our edge to, look at this particular problem statement through our own lens and approach it very, very differently. And that's exactly why, we've been able to do what we've been able to do. Also, I feel the problem statement is so large that 100 Meraquis can get together and get us to the Viksit Bharat mission of 2047 of $30 trillion economy.
Yeah. Again, I think that's for a longer conversation, Dr. Shalin, in terms of how from a surgeon to a startup, which is doing something completely different, again showing that when you want to do something and solve a problem, you could be coming from whatever background and then you could do something different successfully.
Thank you for that, Shradha.
Yeah. So we'll keep talking, and if people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
So our website is www.meraqui.com. They can write to me at shalin@meraqui.com. Our team is looking forward to partner with more and more people in this mission. And, this is a very large activity. It needs more the merrier is all I can say.
Yes, and kudos to you from all of us for enabling 3 lakh jobs. It's a big thing, and as a startup, Meraqui has done this. Kudos to you. Again, all the very best.
Thank you. May I just take this opportunity to announce something that has been brewing in for a little while, and so we've now raised more than 50 crores of non-dilutive finance from banks. And we now are sitting on a new order book of almost 1,500 crores. And we look forward to servicing, with our partners, with our team, and then growing this mission significantly.
Congratulations, all big numbers. But what I am taking is profitable, bootstrap और अपने दम से किया है और जामनगर से किया है. So thank you so much, Dr. Shalin. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, see you. Okay, next we have.
Hey Shraddha, how are you?
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi, yes, me.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm good. Tell us your story.
Yep, nice to meet you. So I have been hearing to story of Agnikul and also Nalin. Very inspiring and really proud where we are going as a country. About my story, so our company is based in Ahmedabad. I come from, if you call about tier town, then like a tier 5 town. So when I was in school, I used to be like a librarian as a volunteer, and in our school, and obviously like in a small town, in a typical Gujarati school, you would have a lot of Swami Vivekananda books, right? So obviously I
So
would
you
be
grew up
reading.
in Ahmedabad?
No, I grew up in Morbi. It is like a tier 5 town, you can say. Our company is in Ahmedabad.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I used to read a lot of Swami Vivekananda books, and one of the thought stuck with me, and it says that Bharat or India is the lamp of humanity to the mankind, right? And for the complete mankind, India has to grow stronger. India has to survive. Then only it can take the world forward, right? And then I went for studies. I did my bachelor's from BITS Pilani, and then went to US in a fifth rank university in my field for masters. I was there working, and then I joined a startup there who was making hydrogen trucks. I was the fifth engineer in the company, and I learned a lot, like being through the ground floor, building wiring harnesses, developing schematics, whatnot, right? And been there 5 years, got the vehicles into production, and that thought was always back in my mind, right? That India has to grow stronger, and that inspired that okay, I need to come back and start here. So our like my blood comes in the automotive industry. I have two co-founders who also come from automotive industry, and then obviously marriage ka time ho gaya, right? So they're looking for a girl, and I asked her. She had a commerce background, so I'm like, "Sahi ho jayega," right? So asked her very simple question that, "Hey, I'm going to do a startup. 99% chance it will fail. Are you ready to join?" Right? And she says, "Yeah, let's do it." And that was like moment yeah, so krute hai. And then we started developing, incubated at iCreate, and through iCreate now I'm able to get this story to you and everyone listening to this, right? So incubated at iCreate, started working on the electric vehicles, experimenting with three-wheeler and also on, and very quickly realized that the technology that we wanted to develop, the skill set we have, it's very suitable right now for the Western markets, and then we will trickle it down to the India. And during that journey, associated with my previous network that I had in the US, started working with a company who was making, who wanted to make vehicles, again a startup, and we decided, okay, we will make you the brain and nervous system, basically everything that goes in the background of your vehicle, and that makes the vehicle feel like magic, right? Started doing that, and then expanded into aerospace. So right now we are making avionics as well. The background, as I mentioned, right, that Bharat had to grow stronger, and as a mechanical engineer myself, we always felt that our skill set is embedded systems, like writing software, developing electronics, developing PCB hardware and everything. And there are two challenges we can tackle for India to grow stronger, which are very paramount. One is national security, and second is the energy security, right? So if we are not nationally secure, if our lock is in someone else's hand, like we are asking someone else to make key for our lock of our house, that doesn't work, right? So all the technology that we are importing from Western countries, and especially what we have seen in last months and last few months with Russia-Ukraine conflict as well, right?
Yeah.
That dependency has to be broken, and that's where we tackle that. Okay, let's start building avionics. And it's not just that we are building bits and pieces of avionics. We are building the complete system that can fly a fighter jet. So the way a pilot controls, the way a pilot sees everything, as well as the complete communication in applying what we have learned in automotive industry. So two of my co-founder, one has 19 years of experience. He was in US for 3 years. Another has 12 years of experience in the same industry. He was in Germany. So we all shared the same skill set and the same vision that we want to do it for India. All of it come back to India, and so that's about what we are doing currently. And on the energy security side, so because we come from automotive, mobility, right, transportation is one key area where a lot of emissions happen. And there are statistics like more than 1 million Indians die prematurely in India due to air pollution. And when we grow like how Western world is growing, right, that's not sustainable for a country like us, financially as well as like environmentally. And that's where we need to solve. We need to make zero emission vehicles, as many vehicles as possible. So we don't make vehicles, but we enable companies to make vehicles. So basically we make like the brain and nervous system that can make your vehicle safer, efficient, and provide good performance that a customer would want. And that's kind of platforms that we are developing for automotive as well as aerospace.
Wow. So avionics का पूरा जो system है,
Yes.
you make that.
Yes, we are developing right now. We have partnered with a US-based company, so they are making aircrafts. So it's a very good match where we can make avionics and they can make aircraft. So
क्या बात है, क्या बात है. ये तो you know again for all of us हम सोचते हैं कि वो जो सारे specialized aircrafts ये सब होते हैं, everything is made in outside, right? Now
Yes.
you are building that intelligence,
Yes.
sitting out
Yes.
of Ahmedabad and coming from Badoni, whatever place, like you said, और वहां से
Yes.
आके अभी तो स्वामी विवेकानंद भी खुश हो रहे होंगे उम्मीद तुमसे
Thank you.
that this is making that happen from our country. This is, we are so proud of you. And tell me, ये जो zero emission intelligence that you're building for the automobile sector, वो अभी कोई use कर रहा है?
Yes, so अभी यूएस की एक कंपनी के साथ पार्टनरशिप है हमारा. So that's what we are developing for them. In खुद का भी कर रहे हैं कि we are developing systems engineering. So all of the embedded part, right? So from all the way from starting of gathering requirements from the OEM to developing software and hardware, we are following the digital thread and having a digital based systems engineering. So we are currently developing the technological base in getting the requirements, getting the guidelines from what a customer in US would want. So uska idea liya hai, and then based on my previous experience ki jahan par I was making hydrogen trucks in US. So वो सब मिला के कि what we would need 5 years down the road, like not right now, but 5 years down the road, industry will be looking for a solution, and that's what we are creating in the background.
मीत बहुत ही अच्छा हुआ. I'm feeling so good meeting you because
Thank you. Likewise.
honestly, very very proud, very very proud. और हम सब के लिए, whoever is watching and is going to watch this, it's possible and you're making it
Yes.
possible. One
Yep.
last thing I want to ask you before you go is challenges क्या होते हैं, क्योंकि US से आकर to do something like this is
Right.
hard.
Yep. Exactly. So, like, I had never worked in India before. I did my bachelor's, moved to US, did masters, worked there for 5 years, and then decided to come back. So obviously, I did not know how the electric vehicle sector was. There was a lot of boom when I came back in 2021, 2022 about electric vehicles. A lot of companies wanting to launch their vehicles. And even today, like if you see, like if you hear governments or if you hear policymakers, they mostly talk about components that you see, right? That battery, motor, charger, inverters, right? Those components that are visible, but then there are components that we make which are in the background. And I give a very simple example, right? That in a country you have a prime minister and then you have different ministers, right? So each minister takes care of their domain, and then they all report to prime minister, and prime minister is like the coordinator. He knows what every single department is doing, and then he or she can make the decision at the government level. It's exactly similar story we are doing for aircraft and automobile. So what we make are the central control modules in a distributed
You are the prime minister or prime minister in the avionics and the
so yes, so rather than measuring temperature of every individual cell, BMS is doing it. There are a lot of people doing BMS, but there needs to be someone who can look at BMS, what BMS is doing, what are the limitations of battery, what are the limitations of powertrain, and what user is asking, right? So these three things don't talk to each other. And then it was really great that I was able to incubate at iCreate, which is India's I think number one business incubator dedicated for startups, and associated with the mentors over there, and realized what the challenges India was facing, and then tried to reach out to multiple people who wanted to make three wheelers, who wanted to do this kind of things, and like, okay, कि मैं आपके लिए VCU बनाऊंगा, मैंने ट्रक के लिए किया है, I'm sure I can do it for three wheelers. And then we started engaging, and it comes down to very simple thing that कि कितने में आएगा, what is the cost of your VCU, right? And I'm like, just give me requirements, I will make something, and then we can work on the cost. Cost is a secondary part.
Yeah.
So that was my first inference, that the market, especially in like small wheel vehicles like two-wheeler, three-wheeler, it's very, very cost conscious at this point, and it will take time before like safety, performance, all of this becomes important, where we come into the picture. And then we realized कि भाई let's do where it matters the most, कि US से start करते हैं, यहाँ पर आएगा, we will have a proven a point कि भाई we can do it in United States, we can do it in India too. So that's how we had to do a pivot. I would not have wanted to do it, but that's how it turned out to be.
You know, amazing. Very proud. You are भारत के innovators. और जो ऐसा मैंने कहा, स्वामी विवेकानंद कहे थे कि हम लैब हैं दुनिया के, और हम intelligence, हर चीज, spirituality to intelligence,
Right.
all lab, and you are today doing that. And तुम
Yep.
दिखा रहे हो उम्मीद कि आप कहीं से भी आए, अगर you have the fire, you make it happen, and you've made it happen. So congratulations. And very
Yep,
proud
and
to have
that's what Vijigi stands for. So it comes from a Sanskrit word, the name. Sanskrit word is Vijigishu, and which means that an intense desire to live a long life with prosperity and pride. So when I say that long life is for Vijigi, that it has to become an institution. What we are doing, we have to do it for 100 more years. Prosperity is about society, right? That once we stop importing fuel from different countries, अपना पैसा इंडिया में ही रहेगा, that money will go back to farmers and they will become prosper. And pride is about the team, that the people who are working in the ground, right? And they can tell their grandkids that, hey, we did something that you will be proud of. So yeah, that's what we are doing.
And we are very proud of you, and we are very proud that we have someone like you as a startup that we can talk about. Thank you, and
Thank
all
you.
the very
Thank
best,
you.
and we'll keep
Thank you
chatting.
for the opportunity.
Yes,
Yep.
thanks.
Yep. Take care.
Okay,
Right.
bye. Okay, so next we have Arjun.
Hey, hello Shraddha, how are you?
I'm good. How do you pronounce your startups? Sayuk.
Siuk.
Siuk.
Yeah.
What does it mean, Siuk?
Okay. It's a wordplay on the Arabic word souk, where everything comes together, right? Which is marketplace. And because the founding team at Souk spent a lot of time in the Middle East, right? We all worked in the Middle East. In fact, I'm speaking to you from Qatar today, which is where we moved to grow Souk now. And the other reason, which is which we generally uh, uh, tell very close people, is that when we started looking for names, Souk.com was available for $9.99. You can't beat a good deal.
That is true. And that way we are Indians. We need to have a good deal. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So tell us, what are you doing at Siuk?
So at Souk, we are working to improve visibility in operations, right? I'll give you a little bit of context. So my co-founders and I, we all used to work in the upstream oil and gas industry, right? Which means actually on the oil rigs where the oil is extracted, oil and gas fields, right? Like the pictures you see in the middle of the sea where oil is coming out of. So that's where we used to work. We used to go by helicopter, which was a very nice perk. So I worked in Bombay for 3 years, then in the Middle East for about 5 years, and then in the US, right? So I was very, very happy, right? And had a nice house, car, and then someone very famous said, "Make in India." So my co-founder Saurabh said, let's go back to India, and he said, "Abhi nahi karenge to kabhi bhi nahi karenge," right? Because we had already spent close to about 10 years working, right? So then Aman joined us, and then we all said, okay, let's go back to India. So we wrapped up everything, came to India in about 2015, and then do what, right? That was the first question. Then we said, let's learn, like whatever we learned in the oil and gas sector, let's implement it across other industries, right? That's how we got the idea. But then you need to build tech. Of course, we came to Bangalore because we knew that that is the best place to start something. And then the next thing was hiring a developer, right? And this is before the age of AI, where everyone get code. So Aman and I actually went and we started learning how to code, and then we built something, and then we started selling. And Unilever was our first customer, and then Fiat. And then our big break came in about 2020, when ONGC funded us, right? And that was a big moment for us, because we are oil and gas people, right? For us, validation from ONGC, which is India's largest upstream oil and gas company, is a very big validation. So we started working with them, and we developed a product which increases the safety, efficiency, and compliance at the workplace, right? So we are able to see where all their people are, where all their assets are in real time. It basically converts an oil and gas facility into something like a digital interface, right? Where you can see, my people are moving here, or this person is entering a hazardous area, and so on and so forth. So after refining things in India, we got in touch with some of our friends in the Middle East, and then we started working with them. We started taking this technology outside India. So that's where we are in our journey, where we are doing innovation in a couple of countries, and then we want to do more, and then we want to serve customers across the region.
Wow. First of all, I have to say that I'm like so proud that you are आज भारत के innovators, क्योंकि यही कहानी चाहिए ना, that you came back to India and you made this happen, and of course in a very non-glamorous space, which is also the most critical and what should I say, very, very important, significant for the world, for the economy, for the country. And you created a technology solution which I'm assuming was not there, right? Where people can track.
Yes. Yes, at that time it was not there, and there was a lot of initially stigma around tracking also. Re yaar, inko pata rahega hum kahan pe hai, and all of these things, right? But now things have evolved. Customers have realized that having a safe workplace kind of trumps everything, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't want anything to go wrong at the workplace, and people actually would prefer getting tracked, because god forbid if there is an emergency, right? I mean, people can be helped out, especially in hazardous work areas, right? Which is not like a normal office, right? Where pretty much nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, and that for everyone, again, we are talking about oil and gas, and we are talking about refineries, and we are talking about those workplaces, not the workplaces most of us go to. Yes. So it is
Yeah.
very significant, the solution that you've built. Arjun, I want to ask you to scale this. What are some of the challenges that you see now that you've gone to overseas market also, and you are here in India? But challenge क्या है आपके space में?
Um, Challenge kya hai? Generally, what happens is when new technology comes, right? Because this is a mix of hardware, this is a mix of hardware, software, and operations also, right? So initially, new technology tends to be quite expensive, right? So the return on investment for any customer should make sense, right? There are early adopters, and then there are the mass market adoption that happens, right? But nowadays, what is happening, and this is really great for us, is that people are realizing that the cost of safety is actually very, very high. So they are willing to invest in such projects, and and technology is improving every day, right? There are components that become available, right? In one of our early customers, right, we had to actually set up Wi-Fi because there was no Wi-Fi in that factory, right? Today you can't imagine a factory without Wi-Fi, right? So these are some of the infrastructural things that are happening, which is, giving us a much faster growth and a higher momentum.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What would you like to tell everyone who's listening to you?
Well, one of the things, actually, I would like to tell two things, if you don't mind, right? The most important thing we've learned in our journey over the last 9 years is startup looks very glamorous, right? कि आ जाओ सब funding दे देंगे ये वो मतलब I can't count the number of VCs I have approached for funding and been rejected, right?
Yeah,
What it takes is a lot of resilience, right, to be able to surmount challenges and move forward. And the second thing is, I think we are a live example. Our team is a live example of it's never too late to start up, right? When we started, we all were at least Saurabh and I were married. We had about 10 years of experience. I think today I'm older than the entire founding team of a few startups put together, right? So it's never too late to start. And again, there is no need to hurry, right? Because it's like a marathon. It's not a sprint. Ki matlab 2 saal mein khatam ho jayega or whatever, right?
yeah. You know, uh, Arjun, when you are saying this, to मुझे लग रहा है you are the Arjun who has stayed in the Mahabharat war, and these wisdoms come from being in the battlefield, right? क्योंकि ये ज्ञान नहीं है, ये जिया है, and it's coming from there, and so very true, so very true. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
All the
absolutely.
very best.
When it starts, when you start up, and even I thought the same, right? Okay, we will make about 20 million in 2 years, and then set over. Yeah. But it doesn't work that way, right?
ये हम सब relate कर रहे हैं. Yeah, yeah. But thank you for doing what you do. It's you, what it is doing is extremely important. And you're doing this, Indians doing it out of India and now taking it to the world. We are very proud of you. You are a Bharat Ke Innovators, and we'll be now in touch and we'll have more conversations.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. It's
And
pleasure.
thank you for joining from Qatar, taking out time to join. Yes.
Thank you so much. Have a nice
Yeah.
day.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. See you, Arjun. Thanks. Okay. Next we have is Ansha.
Shradha.
Hi, Ansha. Yes. Tell us your story.
Okay, so I am the founder and CEO of Zerowatt. So I had been working for a very long time with NTPC Limited, around 14 years. It is India's, maybe 25% of India's total electricity is produced by NTPC. So worked there for like 10 years in the plant, in actually setting up the industries, and 3 years in a strategic division of NTPC, which was actually creating new business verticals in energy transition. And there is something which I understood from there, that climate change is an existential threat to humanity. It's around us. It has already happened. Maybe the recent Mumbai floods, it's happening. The disasters are increasing every day. So
Yeah.
what I realized is that it is such a big problem that probably all our conversation should be only about that, because we all will face it at the end of our lifetime, and there is no chance our next generation will have a livable planet.
Not end of
And
our lifetime. Abhi we are facing it.
yeah, yeah. But then our conversations are not exactly around it, right? We
Yeah.
have a lot of other problems to handle. So the entire world is actually want to go for a transition now. But the problem is we don't have the technology yet, and that is the real truth. That is, every technology which will help us prevent climate change, whether it is green hydrogen, carbon capture, energy storage. I've worked in very large infrastructure projects in all this, trying to set it up. What I understood is they're all decades away from being commercially viable and scalable. So actually, we are in trouble. This is what I understood from my experience in larger firms. So I came out of NTPC, got some of my smartest people to actually do something which we believe can make a bigger impact. So what we understood is that it is energy efficiency which is the real low-hanging fruit, which is the only thing which we can do right now. And there is significant energy wastage everywhere. It happens in your home, it happens in industries, it happens everywhere. So we try to identify why this is happening in industries. What we realized is that 30, 40, 50% of energy is getting wasted in industries, which can be cut down right now. And the reason why this is happening is that normally energy, to actually identify these energy wastages and to do what you can do about it, it needs a lot of expertise. And this expertise is not available to every industry because it needs a PhD level expertise on a particular equipment to understand how it is behaving and what you can do to prevent it. So what we did is we created a system, an end-to-end system, which will actually identify every possible energy wastage in energy intensive industrial facilities. And like an expert, it would real time exactly identify, keep on identifying what is happening, and then it will suggest the users what can be done to prevent it. So it's been very short time.
How does that happen? Ansha, can you explain in layman's term ki wo kaise hoga? Kaise hota hai?
Okay, first of all, we get data from a lot of different sources, our own sensors, from all the available sensors which are not online. We bring all this data. Then we have trained our system with every possible public knowledge base on how an equipment is supposed to behave, what are the guidelines, best practices, everything, and an entire AI model which is trained by us. So that by combining this data and this knowledge base, so it's like there could be an expert, but he cannot go through tens of thousands of documents to understand it, right? But in this case, the system is the expert, so that the system can automatically identify every possible situation and then keeps on alerting the users on what is happening. It's a complete end-to-end system. There is all kinds of monitoring, analytics, but then this is the key differentiator. And we have tried to benchmark our system against every larger company globally who is actually trying something like that. And we feel that we have created something of the next generation. So that happens because of our industrial experience also, because we have been in the industry for a very long time. So we know that how this problem happens. So we coupled all the modern technology to actually realize it. So now our system, in just 1 year alone, it has been installed by around 100 plus large industrial facilities across India. We have significantly reduced energy consumption. Most of our clients were getting return of investment in weeks because that is the extent of energy wastage the system has.
So can you track that? How much are you saving energy? How much are you per facility?
Yeah, I mean, there are facilities where we have been able to reduce it by even 50% in weeks itself. Because the reason is, it's actually not like our home. In an industry, there will be hundreds of equipments and hundreds of people who are managing it. So it's actually very difficult to track and control. So there are a lot of industries which spend 5-10 crores per month in energy cost. And imagine just 2-3 crores is just getting wasted just like that. But the problem is not just that cost. It is the CO2 emission which is actually related to that. That is the only thing which we can do right now to actually reduce it. And all global companies are doing the same thing. Probably Indian companies have to do it. Recently, I was in Toyota's factory in UK, and they have realized that if they have to go to a net zero, they have to change the entire plant. So this is the only thing which they can do right now. And every small bit, they are actually trying to do this. So the only thing is, we may not have that kind of expertise accessible to every industry, right? Whereas in our case, we thought that if the system is the expert, then every industry across the world can use it. So that's the whole idea behind it.
So you can go across the world, right?
We are already doing it. We are having projects in Vietnam right now. We are having very good discussion with larger groups in UK. So. And I'm pretty happy that our Indian startups, because I've seen all kind of companies who are trying to solve it. And honestly, the kind of startup or the talent which is there in India and the kind of things which they are able to come up with, it is actually not there in anywhere else where I have seen. We have that talent pool. We have that youth who can actually do that. My entire team is like that now. I mean, if you need one person to replace it, probably you'll need a few people in a different country. That is the kind of talent and skill set which our people have.
Wow. Ansha, Naji, मतलब मन खुश हो गया. Environment को बचा रहे हैं, planet को बचा रहे हैं, and actually per unit savings भी हो रहा है. And actual, this is deep tech startup, this is deep tech solution, and we are so proud of you that you are Bharat Ke Innovators. Congratulations, and we are very happy that you left NTPC to do.
It's a very tough decision because that is the most valued job for our parents, or our that safety is there, right? But then I think if to create something, you have to defy that safety.
Yes, and you did that. Because NTPC is a big name. To leave that and to start this, and this is actually solving problem. This is actually making a difference, and you have 100 customers already. Yes, have you raised capital?
No, we are totally bootstrapped. To be honest, the problem in India with deep tech is that normally deep tech requires a lot of investment in R&D. That is, you cannot. It's not like a service business where you can start generating from the day one. Whereas you need a lot of investment in R&D, and somehow that is the biggest problem with our Indian startup ecosystem also, because we always follow trends, the capital, whereas the real problems require effort. So we have totally bootstrapped this by taking the last penny from whatever we saved and taken to. So I would say we barely survived. And if we can solve this problem in India, because there are so many startups which I know where when I have gone outside, having better technology than larger companies. Only thing is the other side, it is well funded, well supported, and whereas these people have better products. So if we can solve this access to capital problem for our Indian startups, then we will be the technology leader in the world. That's it.
People like you will make us technology leader in the world, and I hope everyone is listening and the world. Let's pray, wish, and make it happen that we connect you to some deep pockets, because what I hear is that there is going to be a deep tech fund coming, and there'll be money now allocated. So I hope you get, because what you are doing is so purposeful, so deep tech, and so making all of us proud in India. So thank you so much, Zerowatt Energy. We will have more conversation. And thank you for being Bharat Ke Innovator.
And congrats to you also, Shradha, because whatever you are giving a voice to the innovators in India is probably the first thing we have to do. So probably all the larger channels should be doing the same thing, because it's very difficult to get visibility for someone who is actually trying something to solve a problem.
Yeah. I hope this percolates and now we see you in 100 other places. Yes. Thank you, Ansha. Very, very proud, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, see you. Okay, bye. Okay, so next we have Vishnu. Hi.
Hi. Hi, Shradha.
Hi, Vishnu. Tell us your story.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much for hosting this. It's been a pleasure, been following your story and you for a long time. And it's such a pleasure to be on this.
It's very nice to have you. And the name is also exciting, Infinite Circle. It's CERCLE.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. I think circle in French. I think circle in French is CERCLE, and that's why we kept it that.
So tell us, what do you do? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Shradha.
Yes, so Vishnu, tell us, what are you doing at Infinite Circle?
Can you?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. We are a technology-enabled platform managing waste for multiple brands and cities across the country. Perfect. So we are a tech-based platform managing waste for multiple brands and cities across the country. And we work with 200 plus brands to manage their industrial waste, all kinds of waste, including hazardous, non-hazardous, wet waste, dry waste, and channelize it to authorized recyclers wherever possible. And then we also work with cities to manage solid waste from across multiple corporations, municipal corporations, and then sort, segregate, send it to authorized recyclers as well. So this is what we do. We are like an Uber, or you can call us an Amazon for waste.
Tell me, what is the challenge in this space? Because somewhere we are doing well, but still, I think that there is a lot to be solved when it comes to waste management. And how are you doing it differently?
Yeah, so some of the waste is a unorganized segment. That's the first important thing. 90% of waste management today operates on cash basis. A lot of kabadi walas come to your home. They pay you
I'm losing him. Abhiram,
very,
anyone,
very
please?
difficult.
Ah.
That is what we've been doing. But with this, when we used to go,
Vishnu, I think we're losing you
earlier,
in
when we used to
connectivity.
go out to all of these kabadi walas, trying
Vishnu, I'm losing you.
to
It's coming and going, your voice.
get material from them.
Can someone call Vishnu and just check with him? No, I think this time I think his
Yes, Shradha, we'll
connection.
do
So,
that.
Iqbal,
We'll
please
add in
check.
that.
Yes, please check with him. Yes, till then we can move to next. Anand. Yes,
Hi,
Anand.
Shraddha.
Tell us your
How are
story.
you?
I'm good. How do you pronounce Caliche or Kalish?
Oh my
Kalish.
God, you pronounce it right. It's Caliche.
Oh, Caliche. So, yes, tell us what you do at Caliche.
All right. It's pleasant meeting you, Shraddha. We met before in Bangalore some time ago. I'm sure you'll not remember, but that's fine.
No,
So,
I can fake it and say, no, I remember. But chalo, आगे बढ़ो. Yes.
all right. So, it's glad to meet you again. So, we are a deep tech company from northeastern part of the country. Uh, the entire base is in northeast. What we do is we develop indigenous technologies in biotech and AI. So when I say AI and biotech, these are the two streams that we work in. So in biotech, what we've primarily focus is industrial biotechnology. So we work with to develop technologies for oil and gas primarily, because when we started in back in 2018, we were an oil and gas startup. Me and my partner, we were petroleum engineers, so that's how we started. So that was a petroleum biotech company that we started, and then we, you know, made more categories, and we went into mining sector, providing biotech solutions. So we work in industrial biotechnology, work in uh, petroleum, mining, and then space. These three are the sector that we work. And in AI, it's all niche technologies that we develop for mainly PSUs. We develop technologies for them and then do the transferring and stuff like that. So that's what we do. And what we do different is, so whenever we develop a new technology for any particular sector, we ensure that the end-to-end process is completely sustainable. So to do that, we make sure that the process system requires this particular technology and how we can do it differently using the biotechnology solution that's available. So
So
our core
Anand,
strength is biotech.
I'm going to ask you to explain One, very proud, and that second, Northeast say deep tech again. Kudos to you. Now you have to explain
Thank you.
in layman's term कि ये technology क्या है और ये अलग कैसे है, if you can.
I'm going to that. So I don't think so. If I keep on telling about the entire technology, it is going to take all of your time. But I'll give you a couple of things that might be of your interest. So one of the recent technology that we started, it is which is called microbial carbon capturing technology. So we created a category called MCC. This is called microbial carbon capture. So this technology, what it does is we use microbial solution to capture carbon dioxide from the flue gas streams. How we are doing it different is that we are not using any amine stripper. It's a non-amine based technology, first of its kind, and it converts this captured carbon dioxide into valuable byproducts.
Wow.
Are you
This
there?
is very
I lost you in between.
big, no? Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can
No,
hear you. I lost you in between.
this is very big, right?
Oh yeah. So that's what I thought. I have to tell you something that's going right. So that's
Tell
what we are
me
doing right now.
the big stuff. Yes. But this is very significant, relevant, and important stuff. Yeah.
So we've been doing it for the last 2 years right now. We have paid pilot projects running across the country with private and government organizations. We don't market ourselves a lot. That is one reason that you don't find us what we are doing right now. But then at this moment, if you ask me where our 80% of the time goes is in carbon capturing. So what we plan to do is we intend to bring this technology so that it is sustainable for the companies also is using. So the model is very simple, that the company who is going to use our technology for carbon capturing, they will get an ROI in a fixed time. So we provide them that as well. So they get, it's a waste, you trade the waste, they get something out of it. So the money that they are put in, there is some value for environment. At the same time, on a financial scale, that money will come back to them. There is a time period because the byproduct that we are converting from captured carbon dioxide, it is we call it as high valued byproduct, so that the ROI portion can come down. So the less time they get the ROI. The larger picture of this is that we wanted to reach out to more and more people, so that right now it is a PSUs and large scale private sectors who are using it, but the carbon emission is not just from there. You look at the other scale, there are other places as well. So it has to be more convenient for the companies to use it. And in India, we do not have a carbon policy. You cannot force anyone to do it. Whoever is doing, they are doing it just because they have some positive commitment towards environment, or they are supplying their products to foreign countries like Europe. So they have to make their channel also, the supply chain also green. So this is what we are doing.
Yeah, so Anand, why don't we have a carbon policy? What is carbon policy? If you can quickly, now that you are here and you are an expert in this, so explain to us कि carbon policy होता क्या है और इससे और वो होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए हमारे देश में?
Okay, I wouldn't call myself as an expert in this, in that sense, but
Okay, you're
yeah,
an
I can tell you.
entrepreneur, so you have controlled in this space, so you have some understanding. So tell.
Right. So I'll not be able to tell you on a public forum like that in that sense. But then if you allow me to meet you in person sometime in Delhi, I will definitely tell you the entire process cycle and what we need, what you need to push. I can tell you that.
Okay, done. We will. I'm in Delhi, so we will catch up. And the other thing, where in Northeast are you based?
So right now, the place is called Meghalaya, Shillong. So this
Wow.
company is registered in Shillong. We have a base in Delhi because of the reasons.
Yeah.
We have a base in Delhi. We have 5+ labs across the country, biotech labs, and we do extensive research. We put our around 45% of the revenue that is coming back into research. We keep trying new things. That's what you're doing. So the carbon policy thing, I'll give you a gist. The reason why we need carbon policy is because you look at any other countries, for like Europe, US, they have a carbon policy. So the carbon policy, what it does is right now it is not regulated. And for example, if there is a company who is doing some emissions, right? So there might be some penalties as per the pollution control board or maybe the industrial, any other norm that is there. But let's say if they crosses a threshold, and there are some companies who are putting some initiatives and they are going to use it, okay, let's say some technologies, and reduce their emissions. There is no such benefits by the government for them. So what happens is, since there is no incentives, nobody is going to do it.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean, it's
no
better to
reward
pay
for
for.
good behavior.
Exactly. So I can pay penalties. I'll keep on paying penalties. I don't mind doing it. Until and unless there is some incentives from the government, for the government to give incentives, again, there has to be a policy. So there is a policy. Niti Aayog is closely working, and there are other entities also working. There is a policy that is being in draft. It is not out yet. I believe the government is also working very closely to bring it down, bring it, like the entire carbon policy. Once it comes, then the companies will be able to see, okay, what is the benefit if I do the carbon capturing? What is the benefit that I'm going to get if the carbon capturing process is done? You
Yeah.
must have heard about carbon credits, but it's not in India. We cannot. There is no policy around carbon credits in India.
Yeah, you know,
So
but
that is the
there's
reason.
but anyone थोड़ा सा भी हम सबके पास दिमाग है, सबको लगेगा that we all, for the survival, good breathing and living, we all have to be conscientious about this. And what you are doing, Anand, with Caliche Group is very important, very purposeful and significant. And I request everyone who's listening, he said that he's not marketing, spending that much time on marketing or anything. So we all need to take Caliche to everywhere, that every corporate PSU organizations that we know, because this आपके भलाई में हम सबका भलाई है. In your growth is our growth, and what you are doing is very good, and we are very proud of you as Bharat Ke Innovators. And let's catch up.
Sure, Shradha. Thank you so much, and I'll see you. Looking forward to meeting you soon.
Yes, done. Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Anand. Yes. Okay, next we have Jenul.
Yeah, hi Shraddha. Very good
Hi,
afternoon. How are
Jenul.
you?
Good. तो कैसे प्रोनाउंस करते हो? जेनुल एबदीन.
Yeah, Janul Abedin. Yes. So it
जेनुल
is the name
एबदीन.
of APJ Abdul Kalam sir. It's the brief name of Kalam sir.
Oh, wow. So beautiful. हाँ, बोलो. Yes, please tell.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me here, Shraddha. So our journey started back in 2020 when the government of India was planning to open the sector for private players. And fortunately, if I go back, this journey started from my village when I was born and brought up in a small village of Kushinagar, Uttar Pradesh. So that is my native village. तो हर किसी का बचपन में एक सपना होता है कि जब भी हम लोग छोटे होते हैं कि हमें स्पेस में जाना है, एक्सप्लोर करना है इस वास्ट अपनेस ऑफ स्पेस को. इस सेम लाइक मेरा भी बचपन में पैशन था कि लाइक यार बीइंग इन द विलेज ऑलवेज इन द ओपन स्काई हम लोग देखते हैं कि स्टार्स को, गैलेक्सीज को. But the dream, I don't want to feed up this dream. When I was becoming at the age of 16, I started doing the core research. What is the core challenges in the space tech sector? Eventually, we see only the ultimate source from going to Earth from space is the launch vehicles. That is the rockets ultimately. And all the rockets which are building in India are non-reusable category, like single-use rockets. Even in India, ISRO is building the rockets since 1963, but all the rockets are non-reusable. So at the age of 20, I was one of the youngest space tech entrepreneur from India, and thought like, let's build up a rocket which can be multiple times reuse capacity. And fortunately, the Eureka moment happened in 2020 itself, jab government of India has opened the sector for private players. And I was invited by the ISRO panel as one of the youngest entrepreneur to discuss what are the core challenges we can solve from India. And that time I founded Abiom in 2020, October 2022.
So how come they invited you that time? How did they find you?
So I was in touch with the different ISRO scientists that time, and I was brainstorming how we can build a reachable rocket technology in India. So that time I got opportunities from 4 individuals as an academia partner. They invited me. So the discussion happened, and that time I thought it's a very great time. And even the India's space journey just lift off, and started the core research. The first focus was, because a visual rocket is a quite we all talk about the rocket science, not rocket science, but ultimately it's the core technology which have to go in very depth of development. So from 2020 to 2022, हमने core research किया how we can build this technology from Gorakhpur, one of my place where I did my bachelor's and master's. in physics. Ultimately, in 2022, हम लोग moved to Hyderabad, where we require ultimately infrastructure and building the rocket engines. And that we get a great support from one of the institution of BITS Pilani and the government of India, different ministries. Then he started building our rocket engine. I will say one of the toughest part was the building the reusable rocket engine technology in India. And then we crack the Pinta injection mechanism. It's the first time of India when the reusable rocket engine development phase, we have to crack the different reignitable throttleable injector capability. And also we have built India's first commercial rocket engine test facility in Hyderabad. Now we're looking ahead for the moving to expanding the whole spin structure across India. So that was the brief about how we come
अपने
survive.
नाम जहाँ से तुम नाम से इंस्पायर हुए हो, you are inspiring and living up to that pedigree and name. Congratulations. अभी बताओ,
Thank you.
like if one has to say that in terms of where are you now, like all these things that you have built, where are they? Are they in the market? Are they being used, or you are still in the building stage?
सो द फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम था कि like, हमें रियूजेबल रॉकेट इंजन डेवलपमेंट करना था और उसके पहले हमें इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट करना था कि हाउ वी कैन टेस्ट द रॉकेट इंजन्स बिकॉज यदि हम लोग बात करें इंडिया में ओनली ISRO इज द government body and they have the end-to-end infrastructure like launching rockets, testing the rockets, engines and all. So we have now already built up our own rocket infrastructure and done more than 150 tests of our rocket engine. Now we are scaling up that rocket engine for the flight ready. And ultimately our target to reach in a couple of years, like to hop vehicle, like in India we'll witness like a rocket is going to be lift off and landing back. That is the ultimate target to launch a take on vertical landing vehicle, because there will be time come across where we have to be even launch the human to the space, and more capable satellites required to be put into the low Earth orbit and geotransfer orbit. And that is in the upcoming years we are looking to launch our first orbital and suborbital rockets.
कुशीनगर का बॉय जो गोरखपुर में अपना किया वह, और फिर अब हैदराबाद से अभी हमारी इंडिया स्टोरी को, दिस इज सो फिनोमिनल. क्योंकि हम कहते हैं ना कि ये बड़ा क्यों नहीं हम सोच रहे हैं अपने देश में, व्हाई आर आवर स्टार्टअप्स नॉट थिंकिंग बिग. जैनुल अबदीन is the name when people say that हम सोच रहे हैं बड़ा, और हम कहीं से भी आके बड़ा सोच सकते हैं. And Abyom Space Tech and Defense is doing that. Very proud of you. Tell me, what would you like to ask everyone? Is there something that you'd like to ask, and there's something that you'd like to tell everyone?
Definitely. First, I will say like age is just a number. हम लोग बोलते हैं कि age it should not be dictate what you can and what you can't do. You should have a thing like if you have heard the story of the youngest and the oldest, all had the things we have to taken care. And ultimately, if you talk about the rockets, it's a quite capital intensive market. Definitely you have to raise a lot of fundings. We are also at the range of raising our state fund. We are looking ahead to close this round soon, and would be moving ahead to witness India had the capability to build the reusable rockets and going from India to the world market.
Wow, Janul, very proud of you. And thank you for being a Bharat Ke innovator. Thank you. You represent why we have started this, कि आप छोटे शहर से, young age से, कहीं से भी आकर, you can make the country proud. Congratulations, and we'll keep tracking your journey. All the very best. हम लोग human को space पे ले जाना. We will check on you.
Definitely, sir. And I would love to invite you in Hyderabad when you are here. What you're building, you will witness.
नहीं, आके we will come and do the shoot in person. Yes.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. God bless. Next is Sachin Karla. Hi,
Hello,
Sachin.
hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good.
First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's my honor. So
Thank
before
you.
starting, I just want to share like back in 6-7 years ago when I am in first year of my college. So I used to read Your Story and got introduced by Your Story Academy startup course in this, I think startup course 2.0 or something. So I joined that, and from there actually I learned about something about entrepreneurship, कैसे systematic होता है, and then like after
Oh, thank you. God bless you. Thank you. That's so kind of you, and it makes me very happy and grateful. So yes, thank you. And now tell me what you're doing with Udyam Well.
Right. So Udyamwell is basically a ONDC enabled one-stop solution for micro enterprises, rural entrepreneurs. We also call them as a Bharatpreneurs. So we help with we work with farmer producer companies, artisans, and micro entrepreneurs from tier 2, tier 3 cities. We not just help them to get connected with the market, but we providing them a ecosystem actually. So just to understand, it's a kind of two-way problem. One problem is these micro enterprises are like no, don't much aware about kind of digital platforms. Yeah, not well connected. They are just selling them locally, their products locally. And on other side, if we see the urban consumers, they are more seeking now authentic products, authentic products. But आजकल वही organic के नाम पे there are multiple products, but we are helping these micro enterprises product, and for consumer they can authenticate through our NFC tagging and all. Like we are actually piloting with some entrepreneurs, and we launched our platform on ONDC 6 months ago, and it's very game changing because these micro enterprises now their products are sellable through Paytm, MyStore, Snapdeal, and very very big platform. Like for example, like हिमाचल में बैठी कोई वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के प्रोडक्ट अब मुंबई में भी लोग खरीद रहे हैं, and they are celebrating their first order. So like yes, we are providing the ecosystem them to grow.
So उद्यम वेल का जो प्लेटफॉर्म है वो ONDC पे है, and the micro entrepreneurs are coming on your platform, right?
Right, on our platform. And then they are getting access of all the ONDC ecosystem. There are so many buyer apps, logistic network. They also don't need to worry कि हाँ कैसे हम अपना प्रोडक्ट भिजवाएंगे, उनको जैसे ही ऑर्डर आ रहे हैं उनके घर पे वो पिकअप हो रहे हैं. तो ये सब चीजें हम प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. ऑल्दो लाइक इट्स नॉट जस्ट कि हाँ हम उनको लेके जा रहे हैं ऑनलाइन. इट्स आल्सो अबाउट बिहेवियर चेंज बिकॉज दे आर mostly like 90% of them are first time e-commerce. So firstly we follow 3-step approach. हम पहले उनकी एस्पिरेशन मैपिंग करते हैं, चैलेंजेस समझते हैं, एस्पिरेशन समझते हैं, एंड स्टेप 2 पे हम उनको ट्रेन करते हैं. लाइक हम ई कॉमर्स स्टडी बनाते हैं. देयर इज प्रोग्राम कोड उद्यमशील भारत प्रोग्राम, एंड उनको इकोसिस्टम जो हमारे पार्टनर्स है, अगर कोई उनको ब्रांडिंग में हेल्प चाहिए, लीगल में हेल्प चाहिए, तो वी हैव पार्टनर्स. सो उसके बाद लेवल 3 पे हम उनको ई कॉमर्स से जोड़ते हैं, अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे लाते हैं, एंड आफ्टर दैट वी हेल्प देम इन डिमांड जनरेशन आल्सो.
तो सचिन, मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि हाउ डू यू मोनेटाइज, तुम कैसे इसमें पैसा बनाते हो?
सो हमारे पास ना 2 वे हैं, 2 रिवेन्यू मॉडल है. पहला हमारा है कि हम कमीशन लेते हैं पर सेल पे. हम 5 to 7% कमीशन लेते हैं पर प्रोडक्ट आफ्टर सेल. एंड सेकंड रेवेन्यू मॉडल है, वी वर्क्स विद गवर्नमेंट्स, वी वर्क्स विद ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हु हैव देयर ग्रुप ऑफ सेलर्स. फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक one organization like Zatwa, like they have 1,000 sellers. So we are working with them and we are taking that particular their support fees from that organizations.
This is brilliant. We would also like to work with you. Let's talk. I'm telling to my team also, let's have a conversation, क्योंकि micro entrepreneurs एक शब्द है, मगर इससे मतलब it's very, you know, it's to get them online and to get them to have better income, it's still such an unsolved problem, right? And वो solve करना एक बहुत बड़ा और बहुत important work है which you are doing. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Where are you based?
So I am based out of Himachal Pradesh, Palampur. There is like in Kangra district there is place called Palampur.
Oh, you're based out of Palampur. Wow.
Yes, and I am also operating from here only. Although it's tough, but yeah.
नहीं, तुम इसीलिए तो हमारे भारत के इनोवेटर हो. You are the hero. Yes, we need to celebrate. How many micro entrepreneurs have you been able to reach out to till now?
So the number is like, although like if we also do offline trainings, online trainings. So although like on the training purpose and enabling them, there's 8,000 in number. But we have uploaded their product, onboarded them. It's 500. And others we are working with them because this is journey. Like we firstly, like in our first stage, we segregate them into 3 steps. Like one is walk, run, fly. These are the 3 category, and each category have different things like उनको कौन सी sport चाहिए and different timeline also. So we are working with them. So 500 are already live and they are also actively getting orders. They are celebrating their first orders also, and it's the inspiring actually.
That kind of joy is priceless. Yes.
Yeah.
Sachin, thank you for doing what you do. Very proud of Udyam Well and what you are doing for micro entrepreneurs in our country, and look forward to your journey. May you impact millions, and we will be in touch. Let's talk.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. It means a lot.
Thanks. Okay, so next we have Vishnu.
Hi.
Vishnu, now you are in a better zone.
Yeah, I'm in a better zone now.
Okay, now you tell your story and I'm all ears.
Thank you. I'm Vishnu. I'm the co-founder of CircleX, and CircleX is a company which is a tech platform enabling brands and cities to go zero waste to landfill. So we work with 200 plus brands and multiple cities to manage waste and channelize it to authorized recyclers from their factories. We are like an Uber for waste.
Yes, and can you explain us, take us through the process, how you do this?
Yeah, perfect. So, there are large FMCG companies, many companies making biscuits, confectionaries, and so on, shampoo bottles. They produce a lot of bottles and material, and there's a lot of scrap which is generated at their factory sites. Now, many of these plastics, it can be hazardous waste, non-hazardous waste, plastic, paper, different kinds of material. We channelize, we become their one-stop partner. We take all of this waste and then channelize it to respective recyclers from across the country. um, why a brand likes to work with companies like us is because they get end-to-end traceability about what happens to their waste after it leaves their facility. Things that they were not able to get before because only local traders used to take waste from these factories. Now they get end-to-end journey of the complete waste. What happens when the material leaves their facility? Is it converted into granules? Is it being recycled? What is it being recycled into? What is the carbon footprint during the journey of transport from their facility to the recycler unit? They get all of these details. That's number one. So they love working with us. Similarly, for cities, they are not able to handle their solid waste, so we have material recovery facilities across multiple cities. And then waste comes to these cities, we sort, segregate, and then we send it to authorized recyclers from across the country.
What is happening? Recycling is happening. uh, Very important. I was asking last time when you were here, I was just asking you this, that why is it that it still remains such a difficult and still such largely unsolved problem? What you're doing is so important. Sabko use karna chahiye and you should be everywhere. But why is it that it's still the adoption is so less?
That's because it's a largely unorganized segment. If you take waste management, for example, today it's 90%, 95% operated by cash. People, kabaddi walas come to your home, they pick up scrap, and ultimately they pay you in cash. You're not generating a GST bill for them. So it's a largely unorganized market, and then somebody has to organize it. So it is difficult for people to organize a very largely unorganized and unsegmented market. That's the reason. That is one of the main factors. Today, people do not look at safety measures. If they get, let's say, hazardous waste or battery, lead acid battery, they are breaking it in local areas without safety measures, and then they are taking the lead out and then trying to sell the lead. So all of this is very, very unorganized, and for us to get in and digitize that, it takes a while for people to accept. Earlier, without GPay or phone pay, it used to be very difficult for us to convince them that there can be digital technology that will map you to recyclers somewhere up north. Let's say somebody is in Bangalore and they are sending material to Delhi. They would think of this as a fraudulent case. But now they are happy doing it because they are getting payments on time and everything. So it will take 1 or 2 years for this to become completely organized, maybe 4 or 5 years. But then somebody has to start it, and CircleX is one
And
of those
Vishnu,
players trying to.
congratulations for doing this because this is very important. We don't, needless to say, that this is a huge, large, very, very large challenge. And you, as an entrepreneur, hope the opportunity that you built, you have 200 brands working with you, and may you have thousands and thousands and lakhs of brands and organizations working with you are solving it. Now, tell me, what would you like to ask everyone? What is it that you would want to as you grow and scale your venture?
Um, the acceptance that waste is also something that not just the people from the bottom of the pyramid need to do, but everybody needs to do it. And just the acceptance that people who are doing this needs to be treated and deserve a lot more than what we are offering them today. Just not look at them as kachra walas. They are cleaning the ways that you should have cleaned in the first place.
Now, to me, that's the line of the day. That's the line, that's the lesson, that's the internalization that we all need to do. That's deep, very important, and very significant. Thank you, Vishnu. Let's talk more. Yeah. And
Thank you.
very proud to have you as Bharat Ki Innovator. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
See you. Thanks. Okay, now we have Bodhisattva. IG Drones.
Hi, Shradha. How are you doing?
Good. Tell us
Namaste.
about IG Drones. Yes, namaste. Tell us about IG Drones.
Okay, IG is basically an end-to-end enterprise drone company. So we design the drones, we manufacture the drones, and also we supply the drones and solution to the Indian forces and large enterprises. The dual use cases, both for the military as well as the civilian.
Wow. And everything you are doing this out of India?
Absolutely, 100%. Built in India, built for Bharat, built in Bharat, built for Bharat, and ready to deploy in global market.
And where are you based?
So I'm based out of Bhubaneswar, but I started my journey from a small place called Sambalpur in Odisha. So 10 years ago, so while I was in college, and we tried to build a rocket. A rocket we tried. Everybody laughed at us. Friends, family, professors, everybody thought we have gone mad because we're talking about building a rocket. And we failed 100 plus times. And finally we succeed. And our rocket reached an altitude of 16,000 feet AGL, and it became Asia's first multipurpose student rocket. Registered on Limca Book of Record, and it became a national news. And Honorable Prime Minister read the news. And the moment he read the news, he was so surprised how 40 engineering kids in their first year in engineering studies were able to build a rocket that ISRO used to build in 1980s. And then he instructed ISRO, you go figure out how these kids have actually built a rocket. And he lauded our efforts in his Man Ki Baat program. Then the ISRO team came and he was so surprised. And the way we have actually built a rocket, we didn't have an aerospace department in our college. Even we didn't have a propulsion lab. And the way, the frugality we built a rocket, ISRO team was super surprised. And the moment they, go through our technology and they were convinced that we built the technology, the next question was, how did you build the technology? And my answer was, we crowdsourced the knowledge. And they were surprised. We heard about crowdfunding. What is this crowdsourcing? So Shradha, you want to believe in 2014, we contacted around 2,000 space scientists all across the globe just to gather knowledge. And they all helped us on a pro bono basis. Do you know why? Because we are students. Second, we come from a very small place in India. Because of this 2,000 space scientists, ex-NASA, European Space Agency, Russian Space Agency, they all helped us. That's why we took 4 years to try and fail and finally we succeed. And ultimately, the project got acquired by ISRO. And they wrote back a letter to PM, and the PM again asked them, what about another bunch of kids if they will develop something? So it's a newspaper padna padega kya? And then the ISRO decided and established India's first space innovation center in my university. It's not in any metro. It's not even in a tier 2, tier 3. It's in a small place called Burla. This is what the real Bharat is. This is what the real Bharat innovators are.
And Bodhisattva, you are the real भारत का हीरो also. तो क्रेडिट तुम्हें भी मिलता है कि क्योंकि अगर देश बदल रहा है तो तुम्हारे जैसे लोगों और यंगस्टर्स हु आर रिफ्यूजिंग टू से कि हमारे पास है ही नहीं एरोस्पेस और कुछ भी नहीं है और तुमने सबके लिए बदल डाला सपना देखा एंड यू चेंज्ड इट फॉर एवरीवन माय गॉड व्हाट एन इंस्पायरिंग स्टोरी एंड आई होप एवरीवन दिस स्टोरी स्प्रेड्स टू एवरीवन भगवान सो दैट एवरीवन हु इज थिंकिंग कि क्या क्या नहीं है लर्न्स फ्रॉम यू कि ये सब कुछ भी नहीं है फिर भी हो सकता है कर सकते हैं और सब के लिए
absolutely right. So and then I how did I jump to drone is interesting. So when this entire rocket thing happened, and I was in the final year, and again in the engineering college. So you know under peer pressure that you need to do a get a campus placement. But me and my co-founder Om Prakash, we decided whatever the experience we've gained, actually we'll build something on our own. Then मैंने अपने सारे mentors से पूछा, and everybody told me the same story, and they advised me not to start right after the campus because we are ODS, we are not respectable, we are not Guju, Marwadi, and Sindhi, and the business DNA is absent in our blood, and that's why we should actually go work somewhere and gain experience, and then if you are able, then we can start. And I took it as a challenge very, very seriously. And you also come from the eastern part of the country, and you really understand this pain in the society, the societal challenges. So we thought, if I'll try. Even if I fail with a lot of experience. In my early 20s, nothing, I will lose nothing, but at least I will gain a lot of experience. Then I thought, so if I will try to build a rocket, then it will take a hell lot of time, hell lot of money. So whatever the experience I've gained, so I started, shortlisting, and then figured out the drone is already available in the market, and there is already a market already started. That's why we jumped into the drone, whatever the experience we gained from the rocket and satellite building technology. And then thought how to register a company. And back then in 2018, there was no startup ecosystem available in Odisha. And so हमारे यहाँ उड़ीसा में कहावत है, so हमारे लोग क्या करते हैं basically, and कभी भी problem होता है, कभी भी कुछ issue होता है, वो ट्रेन पकड़ के सूरत चले जाते हैं. So what I am referring is the migrant laborers. कोई भी कुछ भी चाहिए होता है. Then I thought, if there is something great in the Gujarat, that's why everyone is going to Gujarat. Then मैंने भी ट्रेन पकड़ा और गया गुजरात. And the government of Gujarat was so nice and so helpful, and they helped us out, and they allowed us to start our venture there. And this is how this India Gujarat IG drone started from the land of the Gujarat. Migrant laborers हम export करते थे, हम drone आज aerospace and defense company बनाते हैं गुजरात में. This is what the Bharat is. This is our journey. We started from a small place called Sambalpur, then moved to Gujarat, and then currently we are operating from Noida and Bhubaneswar.
Wow. क्या बोलूं बोधी सत्वा मन खुश हो
I'll
गया
also
मतलब
like to
so
mention
proud.
one thing. So yes. So it's not the journey didn't end at Delhi or Ahmedabad or Gujarat. From the side of Sambalpur to the skies of Operation Sindhu. Recently, the PIB in its official release has lauded our efforts, our participation in the Operation Sindhu, the mission. It's in our drones in use. That's why we're on news.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. मैं क्या बोलूं मतलब I'm getting goosebumps, and I'm so proud of you. And we are going to be now talking more. We need to come to Bhubaneswar, and then we need to do a very detailed story, which we will do. And anyways, we'll talk to you more. But सबके लिए हो सकता है, मुमकिन है, कुछ भी impossible नहीं है. And if you really feel low, depressed, and think कि क्या क्या नहीं है, then please look at Bodhisattva and IG Drone's story. Very proud of you. You're making the nation proud. Yeah. And I'm so happy that you are a Bharat innovator. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll keep chatting, Bodhi. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shradha.
Okay. See you. Thank you. Okay. Next we have Cholin Selvan. Hi, Cholin.
Hi, Shradha. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us, what are you doing with
Great.
Sandhai?
Great.
Yes.
Yeah. Sunday means just a market, so you may call it as e-market. So first of all, thanks for having us here. So before going into our story, I just want to coin this: your story is our story. You've been a catalyst behind our story. From 2014-15, even I had a itch of following every story which comes in your story. I started my journey as a typical trader. I'm a mechanical engineer from a tier 2 city, from a agricultural background actually. So you know very well, it's a 360-degree problem statement for farmers. So typically we see that it's 150, 180 days farmers spend in the field, but they just take 6 hours, 12 hours, maximum 24 hours to sell their produce. So that's the fundamental thing what we saw in the ground level. So right from the childhood date, I started myself as a trader, then as an MSME, doing some good practices in the tier 2, tier 3 city of Tamil Nadu actually. But after seeing, we felt I want to scale and I need to disrupt a very larger problem statement for the farmers. But I had a lack in motivation. But after going through I can have, I think I have about 150 plus links from the year 17, 16 actually about in the YourStory, where it got more motivated us. Then we started eSunday in the year 2021. So like eSunday is a agri-produce value chain company. So we are positioning ourselves as warriors to reduce the food waste. Like we are just kind of how the mutual funds connects the share mark, I mean the shares and the investors. Just like that, eSunday connects the food and the retail investors. So we are into 3 to 4 business modules where we are trading food when it is going into the waste, specifically perishables. So we are making around 30 crores revenue in the current year, and we are near to profitability as well. So we are funded by Tamil Nadu state government, native lead, Chennai Angels, with a very larger vision going forward.
Jolin, congratulations. Now, if I have to ask you to explain the whole, how do you do this? If you can explain the whole process to us.
Sure. Shradha, like you know very well, the only commodity in the universe which has 1000% inflation is the food materials. Food that is perishables. You know, like tomato on April 1st will be 5 rupees, and April 10th it will be 200 rupees. The same a farmer which you will sell in the first crop will be 5 rupees, and it will be 200 rupees. So we are using various technologies like cryo, drying method, and a lot of innovative packaging materials where we are extending the shelf life of the commodities. And when the produce is going into the waste, we are trying to store it and extend the shelf life, and we are dispatching into the market when it has the higher price. And of course, we have multiple streams of revenue. So typically, we position ourselves as a B2B value chain for the tier 2, tier 3 city, where 365 days, morning 6 o'clock, we will be at their doorstep. This is the primary business model. And the secondary business model, like we will be very proud enough that every ship which leaves the South India, we will our container will be there. So we did around 400 plus containers of exports in the last financial year to various countries. So we just want to take more value out of the agri produce of the farmers in our country and give more value for the commodity.
Wow. Jolin, I have one more question. Have you been able to track that through what you do? Farmers they are able to earn better income, or with less they are able to do more. Have you been able to track that?
Yeah, actually, we are into this for about 12 years. The first 7, 8 years, it was very difficult. Even though we want to do business, we want to make profitability, we cannot able to much to the farmers. But currently, after much years of experience, we got the maturity level where the real problem is kind of. So now we have a 2 pricing module, the benchmark price where the market how much gives and how much we are paying to the farmers. We have a different tool where we can able to track how much difference we can make out of it. So then only we understand we are people where when the produce is going to the dump, when it is 3 rupees, 5 rupees, we will barge in and be able to procure that produce, store it in a better module and give them the better price. So this is the place where we are working on.
This is brilliant. This I have to say is so required, and this is actually transformation at the grassroots level which you are making happen. Yeah. How many farmers have you, like, if just roughly how many farmers' lives you would have touched so far?
Yeah, so we are still feel we are in a pilot mode with a larger vision. So currently we have touched around 4,500 plus farmers in a small geography of 50 kilometers.
Wow, but that's significant because you've made a difference in their lives, and you've also actually exported, and the ships are going with your product. So yeah, congratulations, and this is very significant. And may you grow, continue to grow and create more impact, Jolin. Yes,
because
and thank you for being a Bharat innovator.
Thank you, Shradha. Thank you very much.
No, sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah. Like Initially we thought like we were want to give a 5%, 10%, 20% better price than the market. Then we changed our vision. It should not be 5, 10%. It should be 100, 200%. What we do now, which is last 2 years, we able to give 200% better margins for the farmers with the technology we use actually. That's the major differentiator from the general, traditional market system.
You know, your business is also so purposeful, right? So much of blessing you must be getting from farmers, because we eat the food, but we don't think about farmers, and you are thinking in such a good, correct, pious way. Congratulations, and may you continue to grow. Yeah, and to everyone, please look at Cholin and E Sandai Private Limited, which you are saying is how. So to go to your website and to connect with you, one has to go to E Sandai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you.
Cholin, see you soon, and let's
Thank
keep
you.
talking. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now we have Johnson Tellis. Hi, Johnson.
Hi, Shradha.
Yes, tell us your story.
Okay. So I run a company
And
called.
I get to say this only here. Otherwise, how do people don't? They tell me shut up, so I can just ask you. I am Unity. Sorry. Yes.
I run a company called InUnity. InUnity means it's a combination of two words: innovation for community, but bringing it together. We are in the education space itself. So it is a combination of education as a service plus Edtech platform. So that's the start.
Yeah, so tell us what exactly happens, because Edtech as a word is not the current wave. Last 1.5, 2 years, I don't know. So tell us what are you doing, the process, and how are you doing it differently than all the other Edtech players?
Sure. So I'll tell you why we started. Probably that gives a better picture of what we do. We as friends, we didn't. The college that I come from, which is Sahyadri College of Engineering and Management, it's in Mangalore, and we didn't pretty much. The college was just 4 years young, and we didn't pretty much like the whole construct around how education was, and we didn't like sitting inside the class, of course. So me and my friends, we were about 8 people. We tried non-traditional things, being out of the class. We were most outstanding students. And then, of course, over 4 years of a journey, we visited multiple IITs because we had this aspiration to see what's happening in the other side of the education. And then we participated in competitions. We were always, enjoying this whole process of building things while we were doing engineering. Fast forward 4 years, when we wanted to check up on all our friends, the guys who dreamt of getting into NASA actually got into NASA. The guy who said, I want to build a robotics firm, he built a robotics firm. The recent one also got into Shark Tank, and he raised money from Piyush Bansal, and so on. So, and one guy said he wanted to get into gaming because his brother used to introduce him to gaming, and he built his company on gaming, which became one of the 10 startups as proposed by NDTV. So, we saw in a tier 2 college, which was very young, if we could have that kind of a journey, why can't we make this available to all the other students who are from tier 2, tier 3. So there is no dearth for hunger for education, nor there is a dearth for passion. So what's missing in these colleges? So that's the journey that we were in. So I finished my master's, I came back. We started this company called InUnity because we believe that there's so much more that the community can offer, from the region or the cluster can offer in terms of educating a people. There's a saying, right? So it takes a village to nurture a child. So why don't we bring that whole cluster inside the college? So that's how the startup was initiated. So we found that the framework for an institution is missing in tier 2, tier 3. And most of the people who go in search of opportunities, they come to tier 1. So you don't have access to that kind of teachers or that kind of expertise. So we wanted to bring that back through the technology platform. So the framework for institution plus the platform is what helps people like me who are in educational institutions in tier 2, tier 3 learn the whole program in the best way possible. So that's what we do.
No, so explain it to me that if I'm a student, what will I experience through your platform?
Imagine if you're going through 4 years. So it's a hybrid. So 4 years when you're there, we ensure first understand we all aspire to get into a particular career. Either it could be entrepreneurship, I would love to be an entrepreneur, or I would want to get into a career. So in a tier 2, tier 3 college, the framework gets missing. So we are bombarded with all the 48 subjects, assignments, and so on. So when you enter our kind of a framework, you will be focused around tool set, mindset, and skill set. So we introduce programs within an institution which are staggered around the first 2 years, which is on mindset, tool set, and skill set. So once you go through the programs, now these programs are anywhere from social innovation program to rapid prototyping, and then based on which career you have chosen, you will have specific programs which are designed for 200, 250, 300 hours. It is more event-based learning, which is by the end of every course that you do, you will have to go to an event. All of these trainers, experts, events, what should be the recommended things that you need to do once you're learning, it is all available in the platform. So it goes as a hybrid on top of what you learn in a college. So we work on a B2B model. So by the time you're coming to the third year, you have enough tools or skills that you have, which you can solve regional challenges. So that's where the community is, or the region is brought in. So all the challenges like a DC fellowship program or the MP's fellowship program, which we call it a social impact challenge, or for that matter, MSME's business challenges, are all given to the students in tier 2, tier 3, and the students are expected to solve it because they already have the kind of tools and skill set. The profile matching is done in our platform. And by virtue of that, you'll build a portfolio. So when you come to fourth year, you are more than eligible to get into a startup or any company of your choice, or you can build your own startup because you've built something meaningful.
This looks like the most real solution-based edtech that I'm listening to in the recent times. This is so good. Tell me, how many students have you reached so far?
We have done for more than 25,000 students.
Wow.
Across Karnataka. We are in 9 clusters. So we call this as a cluster innovation model. So we don't mushroom into colleges. We go to a cluster, like Mangalore is one cluster, Mandya is a cluster, Tumkur is a cluster, Bijapur is a cluster, Kalburgi is a cluster. So we go to 9 such clusters. We have hosted one institution, and there we build the whole stack for them. And then the rest of the colleges, they adopt this model and then try to build programs. And we give our platform where all the assets are built, like access to trainers, access to tracks, suggestions, recommendation to their students based on their profile. Everything happens in the platform. So that's how we do it.
Wow. This sounds so real. This real impact. Yeah.
There's no magic, I feel. Yeah, there's no magic in it. I think it's just more about bringing it all together.
It's a lot of effort. It is a lot of effort, and that's why it has not happened. No, sochte to sab hai, but you've made it happen, and that's why now I understand in unity, because it takes a lot to bring that unity. Yeah. How are you planning to grow? Are you planning to expand? Where all are you planning to expand now this year?
So Karnataka, we have already gone to 9. So we are almost in 70 engineering institutions now. So we will plan to go to non-engineering institutions as well. We are planning to go to Andhra Pradesh and then Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So we'll cover the South India part. We have already started through our partners in Lucknow as well. So probably we'll look at the northern part as well. So our plan is to go to 100 clusters in the next 3 years.
Brilliant, Johnson. This is fantastic, and we are so proud that you are at Bharat Ke Innovator. ये होता है EdTech using technology to really solve the granular, real problem जो है colleges में, and you have to be from a small town and in a small town college or school to understand that mismatch अभी कितना high है, and you're solving that.
So if you just look at the whole the problem, right? So 64% of our higher education institutions are in tier 2, tier 3, and the next billion population is also in tier 2, tier 3. So if you're looking at growing the nation as a whole, it has to be the talent from these regions should think about challenges of the next Bharat, right? So that's when it happens. So unless and until we are thinking about how do you scale the education at that place, I'm not sure whether we can really build innovations at scale. So
Yeah. And now Bharat Ke Innovators, you are innovating, and you are our Bharat Ke Innovators, and we are very proud of you. Let's talk. I would love to have a conversation with you because we are also looking at solving something in education. So let's have a conversation. This is really good.
Absolutely. We look forward to it.
Yes. Thanks, Johnson. Thank you so much. Next, we have Miss Noor Fatma. Hi, Noor.
Hi, Shradha. How are you?
Good. Tell us your story.
I'm Noor Fatma. I'm co-founder of a startup called EUI Solutions. We are AI in health company, and our first product is Imagix AI, which is a AI enhanced cloud based platform for medical images. So medical images are X-rays, CT scans, PET, MRIs. What we do basically is we use the power of artificial intelligence to analyze those images and give a AI based report for it. So the problem which we are solving is uh, actually there are around 15,000 radiologists in the country, and there are around 1.5 lakh scans being done daily. So you can understand the difference there is. And then there is a delay in diagnosis, which leads to loss of lives in conditions like stroke, ICH, which is the cranial hemorrhage, trauma cases, even cancer also. So what we are doing here is we are using the platform and the technology to assist the radiologists, the clinicians, to make faster decisions, to design plans, treatment plans, which are very specific to the patient, so that we can save more lives.
So Noor, if you can explain, like what were people doing before your solution and now kaise hai ye alag?
So right now, if you go and get an X-ray or a CT scan, you go to the machine or the center, you get a scan done, and then you are probably told to come the next day or for a next day, probably after a few hours, wherein you get a report, get a report which is made by a radiologist. Now, why is there, when the scan is available readily, the CT scan films are there as soon as you are scanned, but then it takes a day to prepare the report for that. And why is that? Because the number of radiologists are less. People who are reading those scans, they are less, and they take time to read those scans and then prepare the reports. Now what our platform does is, there is, as soon as the scan is done, the AI reads the scan and a preliminary report is available, which basically assists the radiologist to make faster reports. So he just has to go through the scan and see what the AI has done and then just modify it. Most of the cases for X-rays, he doesn't need to even modify it. The reports are perfect. So that is how we are enabling the medical imaging in the country.
Understood.
Yeah.
मतलब scale पे हो सकता है, and
Yes. Yeah.
now when you say that lives are being saved and what this means in emergency situations, it's phenomenal. Wow.
Yes. So if I talk about stroke, in stroke, it is said that time is brain. So there is a window of around 2 to 3 hours where the person should be scanned, understood what the type of stroke is, if it is a hemorrhagic stroke or a clot stroke, which is called ischemic stroke, and then the medicine has to be delivered. So the delay there, it causes the paralysis, the loss of movement, which causes helplessness in the patient, and it's a big burden both on the patient as well as the caretakers. So we have seen problems in our own families. So where people, we were able to rush them to the hospital after the stroke, but we were not able to get timely diagnosis, and that meant half paralysis or these type of things. We have been seeing this a lot. So I grew up in a tier 2 city. So I am from Basti. My co-founders, they are from Burhanpur, which is a place in MP. I am from UP, and we have seen this disparity in healthcare all our lives. After for our education and for our jobs, we moved to metro cities. Then we moved even abroad for working. But then this thing was always there, that how the technology, the knowledge which we have learned in India, how we can use it to help helpless people who are there, and that is what our aim is. Our vision is that the healthcare you are getting should not depend upon your pin code. It should, in everywhere there should be quality and the same quality of healthcare available, and that is where we are using artificial intelligence, computer vision and all to enable that.
नूर फातिमा, सबकी अच्छी दुआएं लगे तुम्हें, तुम्हारे सारे पार्टनर्स को, कंपनी को, क्योंकि this is purposeful and this is technology. When see, people use AI healthcare. This is AI healthcare for actually solving real problem and lives and at scale. And anyone will understand what it means. टाइमली, जो हॉस्पिटल जा चुका है वो समझ चुका है. जब हम लोग खड़े रहते हैं बाहर, वेट करते हैं कि अभी रिपोर्ट का रीडिंग बताइए. सो वो, this is such a real problem that you are solving. We are so proud of you, Noor. You are the Bharat Innovators, and let's talk.
Sure,
Last
yeah.
what would you like to tell everyone? What is it that you're looking as you scale your venture?
So we are a women-led company. We are three co-founders, Meenal, Noor, and Sheetal. We have been friends for long, around 20-25 years. We have been friends working together, and it is actually we are working in a very serious space. But then we are doing it with fun. We are building the technology. We have deployed solutions in towns, smaller CHCs, which are community health centers in Vidisha. We have done deployments in Northeast, which is a very difficult terrain to work in. Our engineers, they were there in rain. The bridges were, there were landslides happening, and yet they were doing the deployments there. So we are working a lot. We are working hard, and what we want is that our technology should impact everyone in India, especially the people who are in difficult geopolitical situations. Because see, what our platform does, it also enables remote consultations, etc. So people in difficult terrains, for example, Northeast, they don't have to travel unnecessarily. Once they get the diagnosis, then only if it is necessary, they should travel and get the report. So there's a lot of things which how our platform is helping the anxiety of the patient when he's waiting for the diagnosis. All those things we are helping out.
And we are very proud. Very,
Thank
very
you,
proud.
Shradha.
Very, very proud. Noor, let's talk. And I'm so many levels पे proud हूँ. मगर एक छोटा ये भी कह दूंगी कि 3 women founders doing deep tech work and deep tech solution and solving a deep problem in our country is a very, very, खुद बहुत pride हो रहा है
So
meeting you and listening to this. Yes.
So last IMC at the inauguration, Honorable Prime Minister Modi also talked to us, and he gave us around 6 minutes. He talked to us about the impact we are making, and he gave us the title of Teen Deviyan. So now we call us Teen Deviyan.
3 देवियां और हम देंगे टाइटल भारत के इनोवेटर 3 गर्ल्स who are making us proud and
Thank you, Shradha.
again showing कि आप कहीं से भी आए कुछ भी हो सकता है आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं Noor, you and your co-founders are making and showing that to all of us. Thank you, let's be in touch.
Thank you, Shradha. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Bye. And with that, we come to the end. To everyone, मतलब क्या बोलूं? I don't want to say more. Just feel very proud of all the startups and being an Indian and representing such phenomenal deep tech startups. My only request is to everyone is to that please go through these, celebrate these and share these. क्योंकि गलत तो हम ढूंढ लेते हैं क्या क्या गलत है, but ये अच्छा है और हमारे देश में ये अच्छा हो रहा है and ये लोग कर रहे हैं. So let's support whatever we can do. If not, just go and say congratulations and all the very best to all these founders. And with that, I will see you next Saturday. Thank you.